Hey, what's up guys? Calum or Calum's Fish Tanks, and today I'm super excited to be bringing you guys a video of me replanting my 40-gallon planted tank. So let's get started. Now, if you missed my last video, you're probably a little bit confused. You're probably wondering where all my plants went, and that's what my last video was all about. So if you haven't watched that already, I really recommend you go watch that first on the teardown of this aquarium. So the first thing we're going to be planting is some Lobelia cardinalis, and this is a really nice stem plant. You can't really get a good look at it yet, but I'm going to be using my Aqua Vitro tweezers. These are super nice. If I can find a link to them, I'll put an Amazon link to these in the description. But I love these guys. But anyways, let's get to planting them. So the Lobelia is going to be going right there in front of my Rotella. Now guys, I really recommend if you're starting with planted aquariums to get a pair of tweezers. They don't have to be super good, but it just makes it so much easier. Scissors are something I feel you can cheap out on. You don't really need expensive scissors, but tweezers, it's just going to help so much, and so much frustration with them floating up. I feel you definitely need tweezers if you're going to keep planted tanks, especially if you're going with stem plants, something you're going to need to stick in the gravel. It just makes it a lot easier and a lot less trouble if you're going to use tweezers over just going in with your hands. It's really annoying. You're going to end up breaking plants. So I recommend buying a pair of tweezers. Like I mentioned, they don't have to be expensive. So next up, we're going to be throwing in some Ludwigia pantanal. This is a super cool plant. It's a bit harder to grow. So here you can see the Ludwigia pantanal in place, and as you can see, it has some crazy color. You can see the pinks, the oranges, the greens, the yellows, and I cannot wait for this plant to grow out, and I hope I can grow this stuff. I'm super excited about this plant. When I saw it on the list, I knew this is one of them I had to get and try out. So hopefully it goes well and grows well in this tank, but on to the next plant we'll be planting. So if you had watched my last video, you would have saw me get this new fish back here, and this is my leopard frog pleco. I've decided to name him Goliath, and now he has started ripping up the Monte Carlo I've replanted. So what I'm gonna have to do is move my Stargine Repens over to where the Monte Carlo is, and then hopefully get some more. And then what I'm planning to do is move some crypts over here. So it's gonna be a bit higher on this side of the tank, but there you can see Goliath, my new leopard frog pleco. Super pretty and super happy I got him. So I am currently planting the S. repens. Now this is a plant that usually does well for me in all my tanks, but it usually takes a while to bounce back after I trim it or replant it. So hopefully it won't take too long this time because it's not being moved far. So hopefully it'll do okay after being replanted and really thrive in the foreground. I'm really wanting to get a nice carpet of this stuff because I don't think with Goliath the Monte Carlo will do well. I think he's just going to keep ripping it up, and it's not a fight I'm wanting to fight. Monte Carlo is very annoying to replant, especially when it's in either really big clumps or very small clumps. So I'm going to continue planting this, and I'll show you guys once I'm done. So here is my new S. repens / Monte Carlo carpet. I think it looks pretty good, but it won't last like this forever. I'm pretty sure the S. repens will eventually outcompete the Monte Carlo and kill it, because it will grow fairly tall. But now on to the next plants. So next up we've got some Cryptocorn Bectii. I figured out how to pronounce the name of this stuff since my last video, but let's get to planting it. So this bag came with a very wide variety of sizes. As you can see, we have plants this big, all the way down to plants around this size. Super small little guys. Now, this is great because I wanted some in the foreground and in the background, so this is just going to allow me to have the smaller ones placed in the foreground and the bigger ones in the background. And as they grow out, you can really keep them down to a smaller size. But anyways, guys, let's get on to planting these guys. Crypts are a little annoying to plant. They're not nearly as bad as Monte Carlo, but they're still pretty annoying. Actually, I find all plants pretty annoying to plant, though. So hopefully Goliath doesn't decide to go rip these guys up as well. But as you can see, the larger ones I am just placing in the background, kind of near where I placed the Pantanal. So hopefully they're going to grow nice and tall back here and get up to the light somewhere. But you can see them kind of in the background. I kind of clouded up the water a bit. But yeah, I'll place a couple more there. And I also placed most of them right here and some in this area. So last but certainly not least are two of the most expensive plants I bought at the auction. The first one being Eriocolon species Hainan Island, I think it's called. Hainan? Yeah, Hainan Island. So I'm going to plant this. Now these are a very difficult plant to keep from what I have heard. So I'm going to put it right up in the center. Hopefully it doesn't get shaded. Oh. And I just snapped the bottom, guys. That is not good. So that means all the roots that were on it are now gone. 1 second, guys. So I wasn't able to get it to stick in the gravel. So what I decided to do was just stick it into the Monte Carlo, and that actually got it to hold. I guess the roots and stuff just held it in place. So hopefully it'll grow there. It's right front and center. So hopefully it will get enough light. But next up is Eriocolon species King Crimson. I don't know if you can see that, but the tips of this plant are a super bright pink. This one has absolutely no roots at all. So I'm probably going to have to do the same thing with this plant as well. But let's plant this one next. So here you can see the Hainan Island as well as the King Crimson. It split in half when I was trying to plant it. I guess I was being a bit too rough with it. But you can see half it is right here. And I positioned it under the rock, or at least a bit of it under the rock. So hopefully it will be held down by that, and it won't be able to be ripped up by my new Pleco Goliath. And the other half I'll go up and show you guys right now. So here's the King Crimson in the 7.5. I'm having a problem with staghorn algae, as you can see it flowing around. But here you can see the tank with the new plants, and it actually looks super good, I find. It's super bright. In the back you can see the Ludwigia species palustris, and beside that the Rotala green. So I'm super happy with this tank. Anyways guys, that about does it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more Planet Tank content. But guys, this was Kelm's Fish Tanks. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.